Trade shows have always been a big and very important part of my invention licensing business, but COVID brought that to a screaming halt a couple years ago for doing in-person shows. Everything went online and the virtual environment just isn't the same. Well, fortunately, trade show season is back and right around the corner. So stick around if you want to learn not only how to optimize and make the most of your trade shows, but how I built an entire invention licensing business doing it. Hi, Lisa Lloyd here with more tips, tricks, and strategies to help you optimize and accelerate your invention licensing business success. If you're new or visiting for the first time, welcome to my channel. And if you like what you hear and see today, then please tell YouTube by hitting that like and subscribe button. It's a free way to support me doing this. And if you hit the notification bell, you'll be the first to know when I post a new video each week. A few months ago, I did a video on how to pitch a product virtually using Zoom or really any other kind of platform, and you can catch that video here, or I'll put a link in the description below. I'll reference it some more throughout this video, so you'll probably want to go grab that. But the opportunity to pitch virtually is an incredible way to save time and money. But there's absolutely nothing that can compare to the networking, energy, and learnings that come from attending a trade show live. There are hundreds of thousands of trade shows around the world all year long, and you can waste a lot of time and money by going to either the wrong shows or by going to little shows where maybe you only have a few companies that really fit or are an ideal fit for your product, and so you don't really have the best odds for success. So the first step is going to be finding the right trade shows. Now, a simple Google search will help you find the right type of trade show, but the secret is using this terminology. Let me walk you through how to do this.
Okay, so popping into Google, let's use housewares as an example and search for largest housewares trade shows. Be very careful to scan the list. The first one is just an ad for an exhibitor booth type company. 10 times I know is a list of other a list of other trade shows. Housewares.org is an association, which is another great way. You can search trade associations to find out when they're having their annual trade shows. But in this case, I'm looking for the top trade show, and that would be the Inspired Home Show. It also used to be called the Chicago Housewares Show. So boom, now you can go through the site and take a quick look to see and confirm that they are indeed the right place for you, that the exhibitors are going to be the right people for you to pitch. So we're going to go over to expos. In this case, they have it broken down. Sometimes they won't have different categories, but this is such a huge show. They have different buildings, in fact, that different categories are in. So I'm going to click on Clean and Contain. Let's just see what's going on over here. And they have the category broken down once again. We'll look at storage organization. And oh my gosh, there are 246 exhibitors just in storage and organization at this trade show. Now there's two things that you can do here. One, you can search each of these companies to see who would be a good fit and then reach out to them to try and book an appointment before the show to meet with them at the show. Or once you know they're a good fit, you can plan your attack at the show by just making a list of all the companies that you see listed so you know exactly who you want to make sure you visit while you're at the show.
For your convenience, I've created a page on my website that will give you a list of all of the most popular categories for inventors and the best trade shows for those categories. But if you're still struggling, if it's not on our list and you can't quite find the right show online, feel free to drop the category that you're looking for. Make sure you give me enough details in the description below, and I'll do my best to answer your question with what the best show would be to attend. Or you can always book a free call with me using the link in the description below as well. Now, my second tip for you is to make sure you go prepared. You need all the right tools in your toolbox. Now, the first and most important tool in your toolbox is your sell sheet or pitch deck. The benefit of having this handy printed is, one, you can leave it behind for the company, and two, and more importantly, it will help guide your conversation, because when you're finally in front of that person, your heart starts to pound in your chest. You can get a little nervous. It's very exciting, but it can also be nerve-wracking, and you don't want to get off track because they're very busy, and you want to stay on purpose so that you get the best opportunity out of that conversation for it to lead into another conversation, which hopefully ultimately leads into a licensing deal. So have that handy and be prepared to talk to them, walk them through it. If you also have a video or something that you would like to demonstrate, so maybe there's a 3D animation of how it works, you could also demonstrate it on your computer, your iPhone, or a tablet. I don't know why I said iPhone. I guess it could be any smartphone. You know what I use now. And then, of course, your third tool is going to be if you have any samples or working models. And those are incredibly powerful. One really good example, in fact, I wasn't planning on bringing this out, but I'm going to for you. And that is this. It's not pretty, is it? This is my CO2-powered airbrush. Ultimately, brought this with me to the trade show. In fact, it was the BBSI, Beauty and Barber Supply Industry Trade Show, where I met with Helen of Troy, and I showed them the sell sheet. I showed them all the images of what it could look like when it was finished, and then I demonstrated with my ugly working model that it absolutely would get the job done. So that actually went on. We struck a deal. We continued the conversation after the show, actually drove out to El Paso, met with them. We closed the deal, and the first purchase order on that product was $1.2 million, and that all started at a trade show. I'll tell you one really quick story. While I was sitting there when we were done, the vice president of marketing who I was speaking with had another girl there, and she was obviously taking notes. And when we were done, he said, "Do you know why she's here?" And I said, "No." And I said, "To take notes?" And he said, "No. If this was going to be ridiculous, I was going to excuse myself and let her finish the meeting." I said, "Well, I'm glad you're still here." So obviously he liked it, and we ended up getting that deal done. So you've got your sell sheet or pitch deck, your virtual model or prototype you can demonstrate on a digital platform, and then of course, finally, if you have working models, bring those with you so you can prove that it will do the job that you say it will on the piece of paper. So you found the right show, you've got all your tools, you're at the show. Who do you talk to? Well, this really, it can seem very nerve-wracking. It feels like cold calling. I still remember getting nervous whenever I walk up to anybody or I'm about to walk up to anybody, but it's not a big deal. Just remember that they're people too. They're there to get the job done that they were hired to do, and in most cases, that's going to be a salesperson sitting at the booth. So you'll want to just walk up to the booth and ask for whoever it is that you might be able to speak with about your product. The best way to do that is by using something like, "Hi, my name is Lisa Lloyd. I have a new product that I'd like to talk to somebody about possibly licensing. Can you please tell me who I need to speak with?" And that's it. It's really very simple. The person will either tell you who to speak with and bring them over. You can ask for an introduction. If they don't volunteer to bring them over, great. Thank you. Is he available or is she available to speak with me now, or do I need to make an appointment to come back? Is a great follow-up to whoever they've told you you need to speak with. If they're not at the show, you can simply ask for their business card, or would you mind writing their name down, or may I please have their email address so that I can reach out to them after the show. The most important thing here is that you're asking for the right person and you're building a rapport and potentially even a long-term relationship with the person that you're walking up to. Think of it as someone that you really want to build a long-term relationship with. Okay, so assuming you get in front of the right person at the company and you have the opportunity to pitch, the most important thing I want you to remember is that they're there to sell, not to buy. So you want to be very sensitive and conscientious about their time. And starting the whole conversation off with, "Hi, my name is Lisa Lloyd. I know you're busy. You weren't planning on meeting with me today. I really appreciate you giving me just a couple quick minutes. Is there someplace we can sit down quietly where I can go through what we've got and see if this makes sense to talk about more after the show?" So you have introduced yourself, you've set the expectation of what you want, you've tried to eliminate the distractions by getting in front of them in a quiet place, and then most importantly, you've let them know that you don't expect a decision today, you just want feedback quickly to see if there's a conversation worth having after the show. That takes all the pressure off of them, and there's really not a lot of reasons other than they genuinely just don't have the time to give you 5 minutes to say no to you. Can you see how that will work? Okay, so there's 3 really quick tips and tricks for how to use and optimize trade shows for your invention licensing business. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to be the first to know whenever I've posted a new video each and every week. Don't forget that you can also book a free call with me using the link in the description below. Dare to dream and imagine what's possible when powered by innovation.